Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining our session. Let me introduce myself. I am Juheni, in charge of sales in JustLogin. Together with me today, I have Jay, our senior account manager, and Chenong from business development. So we will run through the product demo. All right, so we'll run through the product demo of our live system. Okay, so it will be in Express, we have, okay, for those have been using our system, we know that some people maybe has been using Classic for a while, but our newer version is actually we name it Express. Okay, so today we'll run through Express version for the main 4 core modules. So the whole session will not take more than 1 hour, and we'll break it into 2 sessions. All right, so the first session, we will cover Just Live and Just Clock. Just Clock is basically our attendance tracking system, and session 2 that will be payroll and expense. Okay, so each of the session will take about 25 minutes, and in the end of a presentation, there will be a Q&A. So if you have any question when the presentation is going on, you can start to put your question on the chat box. Then we will answer accordingly after that. Okay, so maybe I'll just give some highlights on what each session will cover. Okay. Okay, so let's start from session 1. So for the session 1, right, we will start from how you can get started using our system. That will be under user admin, and we will move on to the Just Live. Okay, Just Live is the first module of the day. We'll start from dashboard. So dashboard is basically what the staff will expect to see when they go into the leave module at first, and how they can apply leave, okay, and how to do the leave approval. Sorry, I admit some of the new participants. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we will show you on how to do the leave approval, how the staff can view the leave summary. Okay, it's basically the balance of all the leave types that they have. And we also will showcase to you on the new features they just rolled out like a few months back, that is on off in lieu requests. And after that, we will show you also on the administration activity and also configuration. Okay, then moving on to the next module, that's Just Clock. So Just Clock, we will cover the dashboard, how to do rostering, how to set the roster, create a shift, how to do the shift assignment. Okay, and also we will show you how the staff can do clock in, clock out via mobile app. And also we will highlight to you on some of the key function or very special function. There's a face recognition and geofencing, and followed by reports. And on the configuration, we will show you how flexible our system is to cater your requirement or various company policy. Okay, so this is a first session. Okay, on this session 2, on the JustExperience, we will cover the mobile claim. Okay, so we'll show it on our special function is OCR, and also the how to do the submission of the claim via web portal. All right, then we will start. We will go to dashboard, how to do approval, administration, and configuration. Okay, and followed by reports. On the payroll side is pretty straightforward. So basically, what staff will see, what they can access in the payroll. So basically, it's like payslip and any other thing. So we'll show you in detail later on. And on the process payroll is to show you how easy to run the payroll using JustLogin, Just Payroll. And on the file generation, we'll cover CPF generation, okay, CPF file generation, bank file, and also IRA, and some highlight on the integration to accounting software, configuration, and some of a commonly used report that most of our customer using. Okay. All right. So now we will start straight with first session. So first session will cover leave and clock, and the presenter is Jay. So Jay, are you ready?
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Over
Okay,
to you.
hi.
Thank you.
So I hope everyone can see me, but more importantly, I think you have to see my screen. Okay, so Johanny, just to confirm, can see my screen?
I can.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, of course, first thing first, today I'm going to take you over to the live demo account of our HRMS system, okay, for Just Login. And this is the page you want to access, okay, to log into the system. All right. And actually, for those who have SingPass mobile app, you can use this for a more secured login. Okay, this one is very secured by GovTech. All right. So for today, I'm going to just log in using my trial account. Okay. First thing you log in, you will see actually my Leave dashboard. Okay. But normally, when you first adopt a system, first thing you will want to know is what happened if you have new staff. Okay. And what happened if your staff resign. Okay, so this is where you will want to go. Okay, click on your name. There's this arrow down button, right? So you can see there's add user here. Okay, so very obvious for adding your new staff, right? And when you when you click on this user admin button here, you will see the list of all your staff and what are the modules they are using in your system, right? And if you take a look at this icon at the extreme right hand side, okay, whoever resign, okay, all you need to do is to just click this deactivate button, right? You can see the two tip over here, deactivate. Okay, so the moment you deactivate them, they will no longer, okay, be able to access the account anymore, right? So just an example, if I go to CY over here, okay, this is the edit staff info icon. Okay, just a pencil icon over here. When you click onto this icon, okay, basically you go into the database of the staff. Okay, so this is where you can see the basic details, right? The basic details. Okay, and what are the modules they are using, and you can set permission for them. Okay, if let's say CY is your assistant, all right, she's the leave administrator or the tenants administrator. Basically, you can just click on this and click save. Right? So these are the basic details. For the other modules that they are using, okay, you can click on leave. Okay, so for example, she's using leave. Okay, so crucial details will be the join date, okay, opening balance, because this will be used to prorate any leave. Okay, if let's say she is a new staff this year. Okay, child information is also useful. Okay, because this one is used to calculate the child care leave. Okay, when you click yes, if you have a child, you need to enter your youngest child date of birth. Right? So I won't go into the other details. Okay, basically these are the necessary info you need to run each modules. Okay, so this is a little bit of an intro before I go into this leave. Okay, so I'm going to move on to leave. So when you first log in, okay, just now you notice this is the page that I have. Okay, the leave dashboard. Right. So more often than not, when I go into this page is because I want to apply leave. Right? So, but in this dashboard, I can, beside apply leave, I have all these details and information, okay, at one glance. Okay, I can see whether I have any pending actions for leave applications, okay, whether or not my boss has approved my leave, or if I'm one of the approving officer, okay, whether or not I have approved my staff leave. Okay, so I can also see my upcoming leave, okay, my last leave taken as well, okay, and any upcoming holidays. Okay, you can see I have this leave calendar over here. I can select only my personal calendar or my department's or company's calendar. Okay, all these you can configure, right? So of course, I'm going to take you into applying leave for now. Okay, as the word suggests, apply leave. So I'll just click on this, okay, to apply leave. And this is the interface you will be seeing. Okay, I can select my type of leave over here. Okay, and you straight away I can see the balance of my leave. Okay, and if let's say, for example, if I select sick leave, okay, let me select sick leave, right? So you can actually make it mandatory for your staff to upload any medical certificate over here. Okay, so you can configure. annual leave, maybe you don't need them to upload anything, okay, because it's their entitlement anyway, right? So, but for compassionate leave, sick leave, okay, this is what you may do, okay, allow mandatory attachment, right? So, probably I can show you what happened on the mobile app as well, okay? So this is what I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, this is my own mobile app. So if you see any notification coming in, just ignore it. Okay, so our mobile app actually have a second level verification. So how I unlock my phone is how I'm going into the app once more, right? So you can see this is my dashboard. Okay, I can see my upcoming leave over here. Okay, I can see who else is on leave. Okay, any of my colleagues is on leave today. Okay, the rest probably I'll go through later. But what is most important is this floating button over here. So when I click on it, I can access three functions, which is my pay slip, apply leave, and the clock in and clock out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click apply leave. Okay, so this is the same interface you will see on your web browser, except it's more intuitive because it's basically on the mobile. Okay, I can choose my type of leave right here. Okay, I can choose half days as well if I want to. Okay, you can see the AM, PM. Okay, so once again, if let's say there's any attachment I want to upload, let me just select sick leave. Okay, so this is where I can just take a picture of the necessary medical certificate from camera. Set. Okay, just take a very convenient. Okay, instead of going into your PC and then upload, okay, whichever attachment you want to do so. Okay, so back to the web browser. Okay, this is where you apply leave, and I'm going to just go through a little bit more features on the dashboard. Okay, so remember this is what your staff will be seeing, okay, on the mobile app as well. So on leave summary, when I click on this, I can see my summary of all my leave type. So you can see my annual leave over here. Okay, brought forward leave. Okay, by this time probably already used up lah. Okay, and okay, you can just use this scroll bar and scroll. Can see all your leaf type over here. Okay, but this is my preferred view, table view. So when I click on this, I can basically see all the detailed figures of all my leaf type. Okay, any carry forward leaf, okay, I can also see. Okay, or brought forward leaf. Okay, and this brought forward leaf can be configured, yeah. So you can see, okay, brought forward leave, you can set how many days you allow them to carry forward and also when it expire. Okay, this one quite common in Singapore. Okay, some in March, some in June, okay, some 31st of December of next year. This one up to you. You can configure. All right. So let me go back to the dashboard. Okay, leave adjustment. Okay, this is a very interesting feature. Okay, what happened is I can actually see okay what my administrator or my boss okay have adjusted for me. So he can actually do credit or debit okay of any leave adjustment. For example, OT. Okay, if I work OT, okay, but I don't get OT pay, what he can do is he can do a credit okay onto my so-called off in lieu or any of the leave type okay that he deems suitable. Right. So just now Johanny mentioned we have a new feature which is OT request, off in lieu request. Okay, so whenever I work OT, okay, but sometimes my boss don't know, right? So what I'll do is I can click on this OT request, okay, provided my OT is legit, right? So he can actually approve it, and this request, okay, will be transferred to, okay, any form of leave that you want to. Okay, but my suggested is very often OT off in lieu. Okay, normally we try not to adjust any figures on the annual leave. Okay, we create a new type of leave, okay, OT off in lieu, then we do the credit all these requests off in lieu into the off in lieu leave type, right? So when you send requests, of course, your immediate supervisor or your management have to approve it. Okay, so when you have that off in lieu, okay, in your leave type, okay, when you pick up a mobile phone, okay, you can actually apply this off in lieu, okay, any other days. All right. So what you have been seeing is actually the end user, okay, what your staff see, right? But for administrator, okay, for HR personnel, okay, this is what you want, reports. Okay, we have various reports for you. Okay, as you can see over here, I have leave query reports, leave balance report. Okay, for example, I go to leave balance report. Okay, I can actually select all these different types of leave. Okay, and generate it into a report like this. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, let me just very quickly show you. Okay, all the details in this report, and all this report you are able to export to Excel or PDF, right? And one of my favorite is also leave query. Okay, because this on this leave query, you can actually set different queries and filters. Okay, let me just go into this page. Right, so you can see I can set many different queries and filter date range, okay, leave type, leave status, whether is it approved, pending, or rejected. Okay, and I can sort according to departments as well. Right. Okay, so these are the reports that administrator will really need. Okay, so what are the other things that administrator can do? Okay, so I go to administration. Okay, you can see I'm going to go through some of the common features. Yeah. Okay, like for example, block leave. Okay, this is when administrator or the management actually wants to enforce a block leave for all your staff. Okay, a period of time, like a common example, Chinese New Year. Okay, so we'll normally only have 2 days. Okay, but some companies would be that, okay, we're going to rest for like another 2 days. Okay, so they actually enforce this block leave. Okay, so everybody take additional 2 days. So this is what the administrator can do. Okay, you can even select if let's say not all the staff are taking leave, you can just select the particular staff that is going to be involved in the block leave, right? So entitlement details. Okay, this is a very useful page. Okay, this is where you can change this entitlement individually to the staff, right? So work week probably I will go through. I will show you a little bit more on the configuration page. Okay, this is where you can configure each and every details of each staff. All right. So leave adjustment. Just now I mentioned a little bit on this already. Okay, like for example, if I work OT but I don't get OT leave, okay, I'm gonna get OT pay. So what you can do is to adjust the leave for me. So for example, I just click OT off in lieu, and I can just do a credit. Under remarks, you can always put in, okay, J work over the weekends to rush off a project, earn 1 day OT off in lieu. Okay, you can also set an expiry date. Okay, because one of the most common practice in Singapore is that for OT off in lieu, okay, a lot of boss don't like the staff to drag for too long. Okay, so if you give me today, you can actually set 31st of October. All right, so by then, if I haven't take this OT off in lieu, okay, it will be auto forfeited. Right. So another common practice in Singapore is that we will carry forward leave. Okay, just now I also mentioned a little bit on this. Okay, but on the configuration side, okay, this is what you can do. Okay, not only you can select how many days you allow them to carry forward, you can in fact set a certain percentage. Okay, so you can set 50%. Okay, only 50% of the leave the staff can carry forward. Okay, so all these are over here. You can see. Okay, the expiry date as well. Okay, so this one is one of the very useful administrative you can do. Okay, of course, resignation and child details. Okay, these are quite self-explanatory. Okay, process resignation is because we need to prorate their leave. All right. So I'm going to move on to configurations. So before you even start using or deploy this leave module to your company, okay, there are a few policies that you need to go through. Okay, first thing first is of course these work weeks. Okay, different staff probably got different weeks behavior in your company. So these are the things you can set. Okay, you can set different alternate work weeks. Okay, and how your company handle your leave policy. Okay, some company by earn leave, some company by entitlement, right? And then some company is actually based on leave grades, okay, or some are by year of services. Okay, there are a few other policies which you probably have to firm down. Okay, and this is when actually the implementation is very important. Okay, we take care of the implementation for you. We go through this configuration with you. Okay, make sure nothing goes wrong before you deploy, right? And for public holidays, you can see that by default, all the public holidays are already in the system. Okay, so you don't need to do anything. 1st of January, okay, all the holidays will be uploaded. If you take a look at this action column over here, okay, you can still edit or delete. Okay, but of course, nobody go and delete the holidays, lah, right? We will add in holidays. So common example again, Chinese New Year, okay, or company D&D. Okay, company D&D, you can always put in. Company D&D, then you just put in the date and then you just save, right? And same thing goes for the leave type. Okay, all the default leave type system leave type are already in there. Okay, you can edit, you can delete, you can add in leave type. So what happens when you when you click on this add leave type? Okay, these are the various factors you can set, various settings also. Okay, so for each leave type you can set, okay, that you have set, you can select whether you require the attachment to be mandatory, okay, or only allowed full days, okay, or some leave you require them to enter in remarks. Okay, so these are the common settings for leave, okay, for the staff to apply. Okay, so one last thing probably I will touch on for leave is you can set different grades for your staff. Okay, you can set different grades, management, exec, directors. Okay, and for different grades, you can actually select different entitlement and different incremental entitlement as well. Okay, different incremental entitlement. So some staff probably only 10 days. They start from 10 days. Okay, then next year they have 11 days. Okay, this one I think quite common also. Okay, may not necessarily be 1 year of service plus 1 day of leave. Okay, don't need. You can actually set maybe 10, 10, 10. Only the third year or the fourth year, then you jump 5. Okay. Oh, not 115, 15. Okay. Right. So these are all the configurations you can set, right? So you can see that actually our system is built based very closely on MOM framework. However, in the system itself, it is still very configurable, very scalable. Okay, you can still set up, configure anything. Okay, all the policies, okay, that you want or your company operates on. Okay, so before I go on to attendance, okay, I'm sure probably you all have some queries already. Okay, you can leave your queries, your feedback, or your comments in the chat window. Okay, in the chat window below. Okay, later my colleague Johanny will be answering your questions. Okay, and I'm going to move on to attendance. Okay, so probably how I start for attendance is I'll go straight into the mobile app once more. Okay, I'll go straight into the mobile app. And instead of biometric, okay, or paper punch card machine, okay, this is what we are doing. Okay, let me go into just login app, verify myself. Okay, and this is the quick access button which I want to click on once more for the attendance. Okay, so you can see the last option, clock in and clock out, right? Okay, straight away you can see that, okay, this is, okay, obviously I'm working from home, right? So this is where I can actually use my face to clock in and clock out. So if let's say my face is not really in the frontal camera, okay, you can see that the button are being grayed out. Okay, so our system actually require you to put your face in front of the camera before you can clock in or clock out. Okay, so you can see my location. Okay, there are two fields over here. Okay, you can see that when I click on location, you can even set, okay, the location that your staff are supposed to clock in. Okay, this is especially useful for retail and F&B. Okay, you have different branches. Your staff goes to different branch every day. Okay, today I go to Katong Mall. Tomorrow I go to Paragon. Okay, and I can also fill in remarks over here. This is the second field. Okay, I can click in and I can just fill in remarks. So if let's say I'm late, I can always fill in, right? MROT breakdown again, right? So these are the things that I can do. Okay. If let's say you clock out late, okay, normally the staff also put in the reason why they clock out late. Okay, last minute got customer, okay, that's why delay the closing time. Okay. And actually, all you need to do is to just put your face there and click the in or out button. Okay, there's actually one more thing which I want to bring to your one more feature that's very interesting. You see this map icon over here? Okay, our system, okay, is geofence enabled. Okay, so when you click on this map icon over here, okay, you can actually see where you are, okay, and where you are supposed to clock in. Okay, you can see that I've actually set our office, okay, Pico Creative Center, and actually 150 meters away from Pico Creative Center, only then I can clock in. Okay, these are the configuration you can set. Okay, so your staff cannot be clocking in the MRT station, okay, or while walking to the office. Okay, geofence. Okay, this is the geofence feature. So what I do is I just do a clock in for myself. Okay, so you can see that, right? I'm not in the geofence area. Do you still want to clock in or clock out? So if I click yes, okay, the record will goes into the system already. Okay, and you notice that if I have not clocked in the geofence, okay, the system will send a reminder to the administrator. Okay, so if any of your staff clocks in outside the geofence, okay, don't worry, okay, you will still be alerted, even if you allow them to clock in outside. All right. So there's also one more question, common question, which is if let's say one of my colleague use my phone and clock in, what happened? Okay, same thing. An email alert will be sent to the administrator because this is my account, but that was not my face. Okay, so we call that the facial recognition feature, right? And back to the dashboard. Okay, so as a staff, when I log into the dashboard, I can see my clock in, clock out history over here, all my timing, okay, my accumulated hours. Okay, you can actually see on the phone, I have my accumulated hours here as well, okay, and my latest clock in, clock out, right? And if I go to more, okay, I can see a little bit more details, okay, of my clock history. Okay, you can see that these are the history. This is the history of where I have used my mobile phone to clock in. Okay, so you can see over here, right? This is what I've done just, right? So if I click on all, I can basically see my entire week of in and out timing, right? Okay, so back to the web browser. Okay, so back to the web browser, same thing, same details I can see. Okay, clock history, accumulated hours, upcoming shift, and I also have my roster calendar over here. Okay, so every staff, okay, have no excuse of missing out the latest roster. Okay, changing of roster is very, very common. All right, so a lot of time, a lot of clients actually still use WhatsApp. Okay, you have an Excel file, then you attach the latest roster, and definitely there will be a lot of staff who missed out, okay, on the latest roster. So all these are real time. Whatever you change, okay, whatever the administrator change, it will reflect real time on my mobile, so I can see the roster from my mobile as well. Okay, and this is where the administrator can do the change roster. So when I click on this roster, okay, you can see these words, shift setup, shift assignment. Okay, basically I can set different shift, assign it to my staff. So you can see all these leave over here. Okay, our leave is integrated with this roster. So anybody who has leave being approved, it will actually shows up automatically on this roster. Okay, you don't need to click on this and then manually change to leave. Okay, don't need. It's integrated. Okay, so this is the leave setup over here, which you can set. Okay, you can create new shift. Okay, key in the hours, key in the start and end time, okay, over here, right? Then you assign it to your staff. Okay, this one very, very straightforward. And end of the month, this is what we want as well, the report. Okay, monthly detail report. Okay, this is where I want to show you. Okay, let me just pull out report. Okay, you can see that all the in and out timing, okay, for all your staff, right? The total number of hours worked for them and the necessary OT. Okay, so these OT are very useful. Okay, especially this monthly summary report. Okay, because what happened to this OT, okay, is that you can either transfer to your payroll, okay, and it will be calculated, of course, according to the basic pay. Okay, and or you can push it to the OT off in lieu once more. Okay, so two ways, either to the payroll or to the OT off in lieu. Okay, let me just give you an example of this monthly summary report. Okay, you can see there are standard working hours, but the actual number of hours worked. So the necessary OT over here. Okay, any lateness or underwork will also show out, right? But actually, this is what we want. Okay, to be able to push it to the payroll or the OT off in lieu. Right. So some of the administrative works for this attendance module. When you have such a system, okay, there will be one or two staff who are going to tell you, I forgot to clock in, I forgot to clock out. Okay, so what happened? Okay, don't need to worry. Okay, for example, this Aga over here, right? Basically, if let's say she forget, okay, what you can do as the administrator is you can just do a manual entry for her. Okay, so I'm going to put her as 9. Okay, 9 a.m. she clocks in. Okay, but all these adjustment will be audit trail. Okay, we'll have an audit trail. Okay, you can see the actual time. Okay, what time I have made the change and by who. Okay, I'm logged in as Mabel, right? So you can see that it's modified by Mabel. Okay, and the actual time and also the modified time, right? So these are the transferring to payroll and leave administrative. Okay, I guess this will be the most common feature, okay, that most of you will be doing, right? So last part will be the configuration. Okay, you can see there are a lot of configuration. Okay, but I'm not going to go through them. I'm going to go through the more important one. Okay, first thing, you can set their hours. Okay, and then these are the calculation methods, okay, that you'll be able to use, okay, on how to calculate leave. So these are the 3 common methods on how you can calculate leave. Okay, end time, standard time, okay, or the MOM style 44 hours. Okay, so you can even change the hours. Okay, like I said once more, we follow the framework of MOM, but you can still configure, okay, your company operations settings in our system. Okay, calculation of OT, OT grace period, okay, common feature also, and also OT rounding off. Okay, we don't want to see the right 4 or 5 decimal points. Okay, and yep, this is probably what I want to show you as well. Okay, you can enable face detection. Okay, and also set up the geofencing and the distance. Okay, this is where I have gone through a little bit on the mobile app with you. Okay. So probably the last thing that I want to talk about on the configuration for attendance is also this reminder setup. Okay, otherwise known as the lateness reminder. Okay, one of the boss favorite feature. Okay, anybody who are late after your grace period that you have set for them. Okay, the system will send a reminder to the staff. Okay, not only to the staff, yeah, and also to the administrator. Okay, most likely the HR or the boss. Okay, so in this email for the HR, you will have a list of staff who have not clocked in or who are late. Okay, this one you can also set your email template, okay, on how you want to phrase it to your staff. All right. Okay, so probably I guess these are the more important features I will cover. Okay, because of time constraint. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the time back to Johanny. Okay, who will be answering your queries. Okay, later on, my colleague Qian Long will be covering the payroll and expense module. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay, to this link. Okay, Johanny, back to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jay. Can you hear me, yeah? Okay,
Ken,
sure.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I hope everyone have a better idea on the solution. And for existing customer, maybe if you are currently using Classic all this while, then yeah, maybe you have a better idea and better confidence. Maybe if you want to try out the Express version. Okay, so I have received few questions here. Okay, so let me answer one by one. The first question is from TKE. The question is whether the personal data need to be keyed in if let's say you will be using the leave module. So the answer is yes, you need to key in the basic personal information under the user admin as Jay showed earlier, right? Then of course for detailed information, setting, for example, like their leave grade or maybe their approving officer, leave grade and also the entitlement, all this, right? If let's say there's any changes, actually you can do it within the leave system itself. Okay, so I hope I answered this question. Yeah, I hope I answered this question for TKE. So the next question is from Gerald. Okay, so Gerald, I have your question, whether geofencing also apply to clock out. Okay, so the answer is yes. So geofencing will applicable for both clock in and clock out. Okay, next question from CASS. Okay, can we set the system to disallow clock in if the staff clock in outside of the geofence area? So the answer is no. Instead, the notification will be sent to the admin when the staff clock in, clock out outside of the geofence location. So the reason being, actually, I have a lot of question, this kind of question. The reason being why we don't so-called restrict them. That means if they clock in or clock out outside of the geofence location, we block. We don't want to do that because for certain industry, right? For example, retail or maybe F&B, last minute they just need to be swapped with someone or they just need to post into different location. So this kind of scenario is very difficult, right? You cannot like block them, then in the end they cannot do clock in, clock out. So that is the business, the logic that actually we make us decide this way. We don't restrict, right? So by having the notification, I think it's good enough so that you know that, oh, okay, so this person actually for some certain reason need to be posted into different location. You may use that notification to check with the maybe outlet supervisor, something like that. Okay, so that is let me check again. I think there are a few more questions here. Okay, so the question from Michelle. For just clock, can I key in the activities like what I have done for the day? Okay, so the answer is yes, because when you do clock in, clock out using the mobile phone, right? Before you press the in or out, actually on the bottom part, you can key in the remarks. So normally, during the COVID, some of the company actually, when they don't have the like temperature device, right? They will just manually scan their temperature and they write in the remarks. So the same, that remarks also can be used for activity, any kind of activity. Okay, today I work in this place actually for what purpose or whatever is that. Okay, then this can be seen by the admin or the supervisor. Okay, so let's move on to next question. Is there time off leave type? Okay, staff can do the modification. Okay, so I answer one by one first. Is there time off leave type? Okay, so in our leave module, you can customize the leave type. Okay, so of course, whatever mandatory from MOM is already there, but any additional, you can just add on. Okay, there's no limit on how many leave type you want to have in the system. Okay, so that should be, I believe there's a straightforward. Let's move on to next one. Staff can do the modification of clock in and clock out by themselves and get the approval from the manager. Okay, so so there are few configuration in the system, right? So if let's say, for example, the simple one, the staff do clock in, clock out. Most of the company, of course, you don't want to allow them to amend their clock in, clock out. All right. So, but the moment you allow them to, I mean, you don't want to allow them to modify their clock in, clock out. Okay. But the moment you allow, because we have configuration, you can allow, right? So the moment you allow, it will not go for approval. It will straight away accept, unless you use another workflow, which is a timesheet, right? So when you allow the timesheet, that means they clock in, clock out. After that, they can go into the system to do amendment and will go for approval. That one can. Okay, or alternatively, okay, I mean, among our client, what they do is, if there is any special cases that, oh, I late for certain reason, staff late for certain reason, they can go to their supervisor or they can go to admin update for them. I think that's the safest one. Okay, so yeah, so the control at least on the admin or supervisor. Okay, few more questions. Can the attendance module accommodate for flexi time? For example, staff are allowed to report work anytime between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and finish between 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, so yes, you can do that. In fact, in Just Login in our office, we also practice that way. Okay, so we can set like a different group of people have different shift timing. Okay, so they can come like maybe maybe engineering. Okay, they start work maybe 9, but maybe for salespeople they normally they come at 9:30 or 10, so the shift can be different. Okay, but in fact, if let's say you can also put everyone as 9, no problem, right? Then they can come anytime, they can clock in, clock out anytime in a day, and the OT calculation that you can choose. Okay, so for flexi, normally you may want to use a OT formula or OT method that is a standard time. That means as long as I work 8 hours, no matter what time I come, what time I go back, as long as meet the 8 hours, then remaining will be OT. Okay, so there's a different configuration you can set in the system. It's pretty flexible. All right. Okay, when is the off in lieu function available? It's already available. Yeah, it's already rolled out like a few months back, 2 or 3 months back. Yeah, so it's already there. So if Rachel, if you cannot see this function, you can contact our support. Then we'll check for you. So, but supposedly this is already like can be viewed by anyone. Okay. Okay, I have a lot more questions. Let me pick maybe one more. Yeah, due to the time constraint, let me take one more. Can the remarks be used for user to explain why clock in, clock out was outside the geofence location? Yes, because it's actually remarks, it's a text box. They can key anything. Okay. All right, so I have few more, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So for those unanswered question, I will get back. We will get back to you after this session. So please make sure you put your contact number or email address in the chat box, so we will get back to you accordingly. Okay, so that will be end of the first session. So now let's move on to the second session. Okay, give me a while. Yeah, I'm going to show a screen. Okay, I hope you can see my screen now. Okay, so the second session will be presented by my colleague Chinong. So that will be payroll and expense. So for those probably just join this session in between, I'll just highlight a little bit on what we are going to cover for both module expense and payroll. So for the expense, we will start to show you on how the staff can submit their claim via mobile app with the OCR technology, and also how to submit the claim via web. And after that, we will move on to dashboard, how to do approval, administration, and configuration followed by reports. As for the payroll, what staff will see when they log into the web portal, okay, what they can access, how easy to run the payroll, use the Just Payroll, and how to do the file generation for CPF, bank file, and IRA, and followed by integration to accounting software, and simple configuration, and also common report by the maybe 80, 90% of our client using. Okay, so yeah, Kino, are you ready? Okay,
Hi.
over to you. Over to you.
Thank you.
Okay,
hi
thank
everyone.
you.
I'm Xianong, part of the business development team in Just Login. So today I'll share more about the expense module and also the payroll module. Let me share my screen first to show you the app version of the expense module, and I'll show you how to submit a claim through the expense app. So just to confirm, are you able to see my mobile app on the screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, sure. So let's begin. Okay, so when you go into the JustExperience mobile app, you will be able to see a dashboard over here that will show you how many unreported claims you have, the submitted and as well as the unsubmitted expense. So to add an expense claim, simply click on the green button with the camera icon below. And then over here, I have a receipt. So you can just take a photo of it. And then you click on the done button. Then afterwards, you click on the upload button. So as you can see here, the upload has been successful. So the key strength of our mobile app expense is that there is an OCR technology where the app has an inbuilt AI that is able to successfully and populate specific information such as the merchant's name and also when was the receipt created and also the total value amount. So all this information are already included and I don't even need to spend time to type it. So it's very convenient for our users. So over here, you can zoom in and see that the expense app has already created the data accurately. So furthermore, you can also include more details like adding a category. So you can just edit it over here. Then over here, I'll choose pantry and refreshments. And for the relevant text over here, I'll choose GST. Later on in the web platform, I will also show you how to create different text weight based on your company's policies. And then I'll add in a reference number and also a description. So over here, another beauty of our expense app is that you can tag a specific claim to an expense report. So this allows you to tag multiple expenses to a specific report. So this can help you, especially when it comes to being an approving officer or being the HR or the admin of the office, and you can avoid scenarios of getting bombarded by single claim submission. So just click on the save button. And then after that, you can go back, you can go to your reports over here, and then you can also click on the submission. So over here, you can also choose your approving officer to submit to. So from an approving officer perspective, you will be able to take a look at the reports and also claims that are pending for your action and also for your approval. So you can go in here and then you can take a look at the details, and if everything looks all right, then you can approve or reject on the spot. So this is very convenient for you as an approving officer. Then now I'd like to move on to share with you the web platform. So give me a moment to share my other screen. Okay, so are you able to see the web platform?
Yes.
All right, sure. So now let me bring you into the expense dashboard. So from a user's perspective and also from an approving officer's perspective, you will be able to see the claims that are pending for your approval and the claims and reports that you have not submitted. And at the same time, these will be the quick links where you can add an expense, where you can add a report. And also for the expense summary, we have a breakdown of 3 different categories: the claims that you have not submitted, those claims that are pending for approval, and lastly, those that are awaiting for reimbursement. So these are the total dollar value amount. If you scroll down a bit more, this is a table chart to show the report summary, where you can take a look at the different reports that you have created and also the different status of each report and the total value amount. So now I'd like to bring you into how to add an expense claim via the web platform. So just click on the expense icon over here. So just give it a moment to load. All right, so then you can add an expense over here. You can either add a single expense claim, or if you like to add multiple expenses in one go, that is not an issue. So over here, you can just fill in similarly as to how it was done in the mobile app. You can add in the category, add in the relevant information for your claims. You can also select an exchange rate over here. Let's say if you have made your purchase overseas, then you can also add an attachment to show your proof of purchase, and you can tag this specific claim to the report that will be relevant for it. So once you have done and filled in the details, you can just click save. Or if you have another scenario where you have a lot of expenses that you need to submit at a go, no issues as well. You will be able to add the expenses all at one go. So you just fill in the details accordingly, and then you can add the appropriate attachments over here. And let's say if you have more than 5 claims that you want to submit at a go, no worries as well. Just click on the add more button over here. And then you can also tag the claims to a specific report. Once you have done so, you just click on save. Now I'd like to show you more on the approval side of things. So I'll move on to the second tab, which is claims. So over here, as an approving officer, you will be able to see reports that are pending for your attention. So when you click on approval, you can see, for example, Elaine has submitted a claim and a report for you to take a look. So you can simply click on the eyeball icon over here. And then you will be able to see her claim submission, which is her transport claims and also her medical claims. And then when you click into the receipt icon, you will see the actual receipt that she has taken a picture of. And at the same time, we also have an audit trail history where it can show you the timestamp when the Elaine created this report, and even very specific details such as when she made a typo and when was this report submitted to you as an approving officer. So if you think the claim submission looks fine, then you can either click on approve, or you believe if there's a mistake, you can always just click on the reject button. Now I'll show you more about the administrative setup. So over here, you can assign your employees to different expense roles. So all you need to do is to click on this pencil button over here. So for example, for Aman, I want to change his role to become a financial officer. So I can just click on it, and then I can just click on the save button and I can go back. And at the same time, moving on to the configuration setup for the expense module. Over here, you can set your base currency. So for example, if you have a Thailand office, then you can set your base currency as Thai baht. And at the same time, you can also have 2 options. You can either allow your employees to edit the exchange rate, or if you like to, you can also use the online exchange rate that we have in our system. So the exchange rate, we get it from a source named openexchangerate.com, where you can see the live real-time data of the exchange rate, and it will be refreshed every single hour. But if you prefer employees to overwrite it and use their own exchange rate, this can be done so as well. All you need to do is to set the exchange rate over here, so you can key in the specific value and edit accordingly. At the same time, if you believe there is a currency that is not in the system, you can always just click on the add new currency button to add the relevant currency that you require. So moving on, at JustLogin, we understand that each company have very specific requirements when it comes to naming of the categories. So feel free to edit the names of the categories to suit your company's own needs. At the same time, you can also include a specific accounting code for your accounting software, and you can also map the expense to a specific pay element. And if there is a category that is not available in the system, you can just add a new category over here and then just include the relevant information. Or perhaps if there is a category that's not very relevant for you, all you need to do is click on the green button over here, then you can just disable it. So then this will not appear in the category options when employees like to submit for claims. So as mentioned by Jay earlier on, our expense module can be integrated with payroll. So you can transfer the expense data over to payroll to make your payout for the reimbursement together with the salary. So over here, if your company has a specific tax rate based on your company's policy, you can also add in a new tax. So lastly, I'd like to share a bit more on the expense reports that will be available for you. So over here, you can take a look at a detailed breakdown and summary of the report number, the status of the report, the amount, and who was the person that submitted this report. If you click into the next tab, expense summary, it will show you a detailed breakdown of each of the reports, as well as the before and after tax amount. And you can also filter them meaningfully based on expense category, based on employee, or also based on expense stages. So let's say if I want to reimburse my employees and I want to take a look at those claims that have already been approved, just click on it and I click on the Go button. So over here, you can see which claims have been approved and are pending for your reimbursement. And you can also download this report into a CSV format. So these are essentially the key features and functions of the expense module. Now I'd like to move on and bring your attention to our payroll module. So over here, employees, they will be able to access their payslips through the My Payslip tab. Whereas from an administrative point of view, you will be able to access all the tabs from My Payslip all the way down to accounting software. So from an employee's perspective, they will be able to access the payslip for the whole entire year and even for past years. And at the same time, if they scroll down a bit more, they can take a look at their past history in a table format and a chart format. And at the same time, employees can access their tax documents, their IAA forms through here once you have released it for them to access. So let's say if I want to better understand my salary, incrementals, and also how I have performed for the past year, I can also take a look at my payroll yearly report. So over here, I can see a detailed breakdown of each of the pay elements in my salary. I can look for any increase or any decrease and spikes. At the same time, I can also track my salary progression through this tab. So now let's just click into a sample of the payslip. As you can see here, it's a meaningful breakdown of your additions and deductions in line item formats, and also a graphical representation that can allow me to better understand what's the major component of my bonus and also for my deductions. And at the same time, for example, if I want to apply for a credit card and I need to show and share my payslip, I can always just download it in the system and it will be in a PDF format for me. So over here, you can also do the pay run from an administrative perspective. So there are three main components to the pay run dashboard. First is the preparation of the payroll. Second is the processing of the pay run. And last is post-payroll analysis, where you can generate different types of report. So the first step to preparation of payroll is to update your employees' pay information. So you can just click into this button over here. And you will be able to edit your employees' information. So let's say specifically I want to edit a lender's details. I can just click on the pencil button over here. And then I can update her date of birth. I can also type in her actual working hours if I like to. And then any kind of deductions I can also include in the system as well. But let's say if I prefer to edit everyone's information all at once, there is also the mass edit pay element feature, where I can make changes in bulk. So it's quite easy and also convenient for you to do so. And the system is smart enough to detect any invalid data. So for example, if I type something that doesn't mean anything, the system won't allow you to do so. So at the same time, because our payroll module will be able to integrate it with your other modules such as leave, OT, and also your expenses claims. So over here, employees, for example, if they take unpaid leave, the admin can also push the data over to sync it with the payroll and as well as leave encashments. Let's say if your company do have the process of processing for OT pay, then you will be able to reimburse and pay out your OT allowances through here as well. So the information are here for you to pay out. At the same time, as mentioned, the expenses claims can be paid out through the salary as well. So this is how you can integrate the different modules to our Just Payroll module. So after you have updated all the information, the next step is to move on to processing your pay. So over here, you can start a new pay run for the specific month or the specific year. You can do pay runs as well if you like to. And you can select employees based on the whole staff strength, or if you just want to include a specific employee, if you like to. Then you can fill in the relevant data accordingly. And after that, you can click on the proceed button. So then it will prompt you to the pay run progress page. Over here, you can take a look at the pay runs that have been completed, that are pending for your approval, and those that have failed. So if I click into the failed ones, you can see that the system is smart enough to detect the error and also let you know what is the reason the pay run has failed, because the employee pay details information was not set up completely. So when you click on the fix error button, they will actually link you directly to the page. So for example, over here, I didn't add in a little date of birth, which is really important when it comes to calculation of CPF contribution. And that is the reason why the payroll has failed. So let's go back to the pay run progress. If you can take a look at those that are pending for your approval, you can go in and you can take a look one last time at your employees' salary details and payout. So you can take a look at the total additions and the total deductions. You can also approve or reject on the spot. And there is also a mass approval feature we have in this system. So once you have approved and everything is okay, the next step is, of course, to pay out your employees, which can do so through the file generation tab over here. So over here, you can generate a CPF file. So you include the relevant information, you click generate file, and then you can upload this file to your CPF portal to automate your CPF contributions. So this works the same for the bank file as well, where you're able to choose your company's banking details. We do have presence of all the bank files in Singapore, and even for overseas banks, this is not an issue as well. So after that, you fill in your relevant details, you generate a file. It will generate a TXT file for you that you can upload to your company's internet banking to automate the salary transfer. So previously, if you're doing it manually, this can really help to make the process a lot less painful and more convenient. And also we have the text export where you can also generate the RAA forms for your employees. Now I'd like to move on to the configuration setup for the payroll. So over here, you can include your company's details. And let's say if you do need to push the payroll data to your accounting software, you can also click on the general ledger accounting codes to set up the initial accounting codes. And you can map the pay elements to the accounting codes accordingly. We also have seamless integration with 2 different accounting software, mainly QuickBooks Online and Xero. So for example, if you are using Xero, simply just enable the Xero integration, and all you have to do is just to log into your Xero portal and map the pay elements in our system to your GL codes, and from there on, you can just transfer the data over for your accounting needs. So after paying out your salary, let's say you want to generate different types of reports, you can do so in our report module as well. Where over here, we have pretty strong reporting features where we have over 25 different types of reports that you can choose from. So for example, let's say if you want to take a look at the pay elements yearly report, you You just click on it and click on Go. And then you will be able to assess all the detailed breakdown of all the pay elements. You can take a look, why is there a sudden spike in your other allowances. So these are the kind of meaningful insights that you will be able to receive with our reporting features. So just to show you another report sample, we have the monthly payroll detail report, where you can take a look at the employees' details. So essentially, these are all the features and functions that we have for the payroll module. Now I'll let Juhani take over and address any of the Q&A you have. And I hope that with the demo by our team, you'll be able to see how JustLogin and help to automate your HR processes and enhance your employees' user experience.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Chenong, you can hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sure. All right, so now, okay, thanks, Chenong. Now we will go to the Q&A. Maybe, okay, sorry for drag everyone for a few more minutes. I will quickly have maybe 1 to 2 minutes to answer some of the question. Okay, so let me pick question. Okay, a question from Sophia about the exchange rate, right? So if let's say the staff want to change the exchange rate, whether that can be done if they want to input their self-source exchange rate, the answer is yes, they can do it. And next question about the exchange rate as well. Is the exchange rate real time? I mean, if you use the open exchange rate, right? Yes, it's real time. The rate will refresh every 1 hour. Okay. Next question is about JustExperience as well. Can the submitter actually be an approver as well? Yes, of course. Okay, so now I have a few questions on the payroll. Is the password required for staff to view their online payslip? Okay, so this is actually can be set by the staff. Okay, so staff themselves can choose whether they want to have their payslip protected or not. Okay, so they can do on their own. Next question. Okay, does your payroll support multiple cost center for specific employees? So the question from Rachel, yes, you can. So basically you can have a multi-cost center allocation in payroll. Okay, so if you don't see this assignment, this field for the cost center, right, you may want to contact our support. Okay, so it's basically it's under employee information in the payroll. Okay, let's see what else on the question. Okay, are there any custom report that we can design on our report? So if let's say the question is more on the payroll, okay, you can customize your report based on the pay elements. Okay, so you can see like, okay, maybe the column 1, I want to see basic pay, column 2, I want to see meal allowance, commission, all this is customizable in the payroll itself. Okay, there is another question. Okay, I think this is for the second session, I have a last question. So, okay, I will not take take more of everyone's time. On the pending question for the first session, we'll get back to you after this session. All right, so last but not least, please feel free to scan this QR code if you wish to submit the feedback to us. Can be about the system, can be about this session, okay? And okay, I will also, let me see, yeah, I'm going to copy a link over here as well if you cannot scan the QR code. Okay, so there's a link I post to everyone in the chat box. So you can just click on the link, then it will bring you to a form. So you can just fill up the form if you wish to drop us a feedback. Okay. All right, so that will be end of our session today. Thanks for joining us. And thanks, Chino. Thanks, Jay. For anyone, if you have any further question, any queries, please contact us directly. So, all right, stay safe. Thanks, everyone. See you.